Hey guys, welcome to my January 2020 bullet journal setup. So first, of course, I'm opening the journal. I got this one from Michael's for $5. It's actually one of my favorite journals. The quality has definitely gotten way better over the years. The pages are thicker, there's a table of contents, and there's a section for color coding and icon coding. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but I will definitely try to link it below in the bio. I'm just starting by sketching the weekly layouts. Usually I do like to start with me sketching the cover page as well as my goals for the month, but that clip has horrible lighting for some reason, so I just decided to cut it. But don't worry, you'll see it once I start outlining and coloring it all in. So for this weekly layout, I am usually notorious for overloading myself with multiple obligations that I know cannot be done in a week, yet I still try for some reason, and then I end up doing none of it. And that's usually because your brain will develop anxieties so that you can avoid the things that are making you feel overwhelmed, which honestly makes complete sense. So for the first month of this new year, I am deciding to keep it very simple with just a space for each day and then a to-do list for each week. I realize I have not talked about my theme yet, which is nature and any kind of tropical leaves or vines. Clearly by my tattoo, you guys can tell I love nature. Nature is one of my biggest values. It makes me feel rooted and grounded within myself and the world. It really reminds me to not get too indulged into society and its expectations, which is exactly how I wanted to set the precedent for this upcoming year. When it comes to my anxiety and mood trackers, I believe it's important to track my anxiety just as much as it is important to track my mood, because I, for one, am someone who is not afraid to admit that I have horrible anxiety, and for some reason I'm beginning to develop social anxiety as well. So I definitely want to, especially within this next year, keep track of my anxiety and how I'm really behaving with it all, as well as seeing how it correlates to my mood as well. When it comes to my highlights for January, and reflecting back on it, I already know that January is going to be a very busy month for me. I'm moving back into campus. I'm starting my second semester as a sophomore in college. I'm running my business and I'm doing all of my student leadership at once. So I'm not sure there will be too many highlights, but I always try to make the best of my situation. So I did put at least, 5 highlights there just so I can reflect on the good moments that I had, even though it's going to be a very much workaholic type of month. Here's a quick little flip through of the layouts I have planned for the month. So now I am just getting out my paints because I was going to use my markers to color in the cover page for the month, but then I saw some paints and I was like, I think I want to try some watercolor techniques just to honestly test the thickness of the pages and to see if I wanted to try this technique in future layouts. You'll see that it came out so nice, and I definitely will be trying this in the future. Something that I've noticed and that I really like about the bullet journaling community is that we all have different preferences when it comes to how we set ours up, and I love that because it honestly shows how our mindsets differentiate from each other and what we need to feel comfortable with our planning, no matter what it is for content or for school or our businesses. I love seeing it all, and it's honestly all very inspirational. Fun fact about me, I actually adopted the art of calligraphy because in high school I had such horrible anxiety. Yet I'm a very meticulous person, and one thing I was very particular about was my handwriting. So once I discovered the art of watercolor calligraphy, I of course looked more into calligraphy itself and figured out it was a style of writing. So once I practiced and practiced, it was definitely something that I fell in love with, and I definitely plan to do in the future for weddings or for my own event planning company. And I can definitely see that I need more work on it because I've definitely lost the art for a little bit, but I can see myself getting back into it and developing my skills a little bit more. For the page on my fixations, I love keeping track of my favorites every month, whether it's things I'm obsessed with, from food to music to movies, shows, books, podcasts, or beauty related things. Anything that I'm obsessed with, I love keeping track of it because it definitely does change throughout the year, and I love looking back to see what types of things I forgot about that I was once completely obsessed with. Here's I'm sketching out the monthly layouts for January, of course. Yes, I am now starting to do 2 different monthly layouts, one for personal and academic related things, and then one for just my business and my social related things, because I tend to lose track of everything if I do not write it down, and honestly write it down in my style with my layout, or else it just doesn't work. I tried daily planners, weekly planners, but I think monthly planners definitely work for me, as I can see the important things coming for the next day or the next week. Finally, we're on the weekly layouts, outline, and coloring, in which I'm actually excited to sit back and watch because this was my favorite part. Well, doing the weekly layout is always my favorite part of doing my bullet journal for the month. But seeing this clip come together, even though it took me a lot longer than 3 minutes to do so, is actually pretty cool to watch. And usually, guys, I'm actually very much more detailed when it comes to my weekly layouts, but like I explained before, I do tend to get overwhelmed very easily, and I don't want that this month because I already know how much work I have to do. And usually, guys, I am much more neat and like meticulous about the numbers and writing the actual days of the week, but this go round I was definitely just more focused on like seeing my skills were still there with actually doing layouts and everything, and testing new techniques for future months, because I definitely did take a year off of bullet journaling once I went into college, but now I'm definitely so excited to get back into it. So yeah, this is just me testing out a lot of different techniques and styles. So now I'm coloring in my anxiety and my mood tracker, and I will be honest with myself, these leaves could have been a lot better and a lot cleaner and honestly just a lot cuter. But for some reason I was very anxious during this clip. I think because I haven't actually done bullet journaling in a while, and like I said, I'm very specific about my layouts. I just wanted everything to be perfect, but of course my first go around when I come back is not going to be perfect, so I think I just gave up on it being perfect. But they definitely could have been a lot neater if I had just, taken a chill pill. Also, bear with me, guys. I know I'm not the best at this voiceover thing, but my public speaking class was on Zoom and it wasn't the most impactful course that I've taken. So as I get better with this, just please bear with me. For my trip report page, I know a lot of you are definitely wondering what a trip report page is. I haven't seen a lot of bullet journal YouTubers have a trip report page, or I haven't seen any at all, honestly. But for me, I'm definitely one person who believes in the power of psilocybin, which is a magic shroom, a psychedelic, if you do not know. But it's definitely becoming more acknowledged as something to definitely help with your mental state and your mental health. And for me, it definitely does do that. I believe in macrodosing on it once a month. A lot of people like to microdose either daily or weekly, but I do it once a month. And then I just like to write a report on exactly what happened, because I believe that it tells me a lot about what my subconscious is thinking and what's going on within my brain, even though I'm not necessarily conscious about it. Hence a subconscious, of course. But yes, that's just one way I like to keep track of my mental health. In no way am I encouraging or promoting the use of psilocybin or any psychedelic. However, if you do want to learn more, you can do a lot of research. I will link some podcasts, some books, and some articles about psilocybin within my bio. or my highlights page and my knowledge I gained page, I like to keep them both together because of course the highlights are reflecting the good things, and then the knowledge is usually the lessons that I learned, usually from mistakes that I've made or just, you know, things that I had to go through that weren't the best, but you know, things that I still learned or knowledge that I still gained, which I think is beautiful either way. So I definitely like to keep those together so I can see them at the same time. Now that my layout for January 2022 is complete for the most part, I'm just going to finish it all off by putting all the pages into my table of contents and making that of use, since this brand has a table of contents now. Like I said, I am so surprised by that, and it's definitely going to be useful, and the pages are already numbered in this. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching my very first video on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed making it. Here's a final flip through for my setup for the month of January 2022, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!